Hello, everyone. I feel compelled to talk about what transpired on our road trip vacation. I decided to take a much-needed vacation and drive with my buddy, Jess. We had no idea that things would turn very messy, so there we were listening to music while driving down the highway, chatting about everything and nothing. You are aware of how those road trips go. It's simply a couple of teens having fun. As she talked about all the awesome things we were going to do when we got to our destination, Jess had this excitement shining in her eyes. The view was created to change as we traveled through the middle of nowhere. The path narrowed as the trees grew thicker. With no GPS connection, we are dependent only on a paper map. There was not a single person in sight, and we were truly in the middle of nowhere. Things started to seem strange as the sun was sinking. Jess stopped talking abruptly and looked out the window as if she was seeing something in the trees. She simply shook her head and told me it was nothing when I asked her what was wrong. I realized, though, that something wasn't quite right. Later on, Jess received a call on her cell phone. The person's voice on the other end sounded distorted, like whispers mixed with static. Though it was difficult to see much, Jess appeared terrified. She attempted to respond, but it seemed as though the link was somehow cursed. We dismissed the call as soon as it finished, alleging poor reception. The road grew darker and the trees grew closer as we continued to drive. Something moved in the shadows, I swear. Though my heart raced, I refrained from frightening Jess. She said her phone was acting strangely as she continued to examine it. Perhaps we were merely in a dead zone, I reasoned. At that point, we saw an old beat-up vehicle was following us. This paranormal figure is in the rearview mirror, with no headlights. We made many attempts to accelerate and decelerate, but the automobile followed us closely no matter what. Panic beginning to set in. We made the decision to get off the road because we thought the motorist might be lost or something. Error. The car behind us stopped at the same instant we did. A pair of men arrived wearing scary masks reminiscent of those seen in horror movies. They were at our car beating on the windows before we knew it. As Jess tried to get away, those guys kept going, so she had to step on the throttle. Our car was hit by branches as we made a reckless loop through the woods. I was afraid as hell because I could hear Jess crying. As we turned onto a quiet road, we realized that they were still there obstructing our way, even though we had believed they were gone. We dropped into our seats and turned off the engine in an attempt to hide. However, they located us. I was overcome with terror as they dragged Jess screaming out of the car. When I tried to contact for assistance, my phone was dead, like completely fried. Jess's cries resounded as she was pulled into the darkness, and that was the last thing I saw. Alone in the car, scared and defenseless, I was. My phone was dead, not turning on no matter what I did when I finally plucked up the guts to start my vehicle and drive. When I got to the closest town and phoned the police, Jess was already gone. Not a trace of her or those guys. I still can't get rid of the impression that we happened upon something unexpected. What about my phone? Well, that didn't work once more. I'm sharing this because I need someone to know what happened. Don't take road trips lightly. And if something feels off, trust your instincts. I still can't believe this nightmare was our reality. Stay safe out there, y'all.